Nightcap with Scone. A show... Welcome to Nightcap with Scone. A show that was born out of quarantine when wasn't nobody doing nothing. So on Whiskey Wednesdays, we would fire up a live show here and we'd have a pour and we'd talk about anything you want, be it sports, be it crypto, be it media, or anything that tickles your fancy. We're here for it all and glad that you are aboard with us as well. We're brought to you by Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. We're brought to you by GameCoin, the first sports crypto with a purpose. Learn more or learn how to buy at thegamecoin.net. We're brought to you by mycleanliving.net, NASA technology inside of their air purifiers, clinically proven to eliminate the virus that causes COVID-19 and dozens of other pathogens, and Restored Motions. My girl, Crystal Poche, if you have pain, you are one session away. Let me know what you got in the glass tonight. This is a little Widow Jane Lucky 13. Are you kidding me? Widow Jane 13. I had some good scores during this hunting season, and the big allocations really just dropped, y'all. So we're going to pop this thing open. You know the drill. Drop a comment. Let me know what you got in your glass tonight, even if it's an ice cold Dr. Pepper. If it's milk, water, whatever. No judgment here, man. Just let me know what you got. I'm going to get my pour here. We're going to do a little toast. And we will talk signing day, because I'm going to tell y'all, I got a lot to say about signing day. All right, here we go. You ready? Let's see what the Angels think. Let's see what the Angels think. Oh, pungent 13-year juice. Batch 28, bottle 327. Dumped in 2021. This is 93 proof. And you'd better believe I'm going to bypass my Glencairn today. From a GameCoin glass, because we're going to the moon with the GameCoin, y'all. Had an awesome GameCoin meeting with the board on Tuesday. Friggin' awesome. The developers, were on the call. We got to see the wireframe. Amazing. It's like a car being built. You get to see the car before they put the engine in, right? But we're seeing the car. It's coming together. It looks awesome. All right. LSU pulls two players on Saturday. The big one was, of course, the biggest one of the day and the biggest one in the class so far, which is the linebacker Harold Perkins, 5-star, who is officially now a Tiger from New Orleans. His family evacuated post-Katrina, and the opportunity his was an interesting recruitment, to say the very least, because of his NIL desires and how that all came together. But we'll delve into all of it. So, drop your comments. Let me know what you got. NIL was an undeniably gigantic part of this recruiting class, not just for LSU, but for everyone. Jimbo Fisher is a total liar. I mean, lying through his fucking teeth. By the way, if you're new, we curse on Nightcap. It is a late night show. We are drinking whiskey, so have yourself a pour and be prepared for some NSFW language. The kiddies should be in bed already. It is a school night. But I'm not here to judge you. You can let your kids stay up as long as you want. It's up to you. But just understand, if they're watching Nightcap with Scone, they're going to hear curse words. Trivia Carter, classy show. You better believe it. Kyle Aycock. Looks like Jimbo took notes at Will Wade's Strong Ass Offer Seminar. Austin Kidder, what's good? Raymond, good evening. A little Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. All right. Josh Higginbotham, Paul Jean, Brian Kelly DeGoat. LSU has now 6th best overall recruiting class of transfers. Very happy with Brian Kelly. Had to remake the roster. He's done it. Shane O'Mac, Eric Wilderotter. Is Jacoby Matthews NIL at its best or at its worst? Okay. So I do want to run through the Jacoby Matthews stuff. Josh DeVilliers, A&M gets the best recruiting class, shocker. Josh Bergeron, Matt Dubé, Lee Tregri. Jacoby Matthews said the reason he chose A&M was development. All lies. How many defensive backs has A&M put in the NFL? What's interesting, Lee, is for years players did have to lie about why they chose a school when it was money. He doesn't have to now. He can say they gave me the biggest NIL deal. Overall great class. Missing out on Matthews and Lewis hurt. Missing out on Matthews. Well, I'll put it to you this way about missing out on Matthews. It hurts because it's a kid from Ponchatoula and he's staying in the SEC West. That's what hurts. Because you have to see him. And you're thin at you're thin at linebacker, but getting Perkins was monstrous. You're good at safety though. You got numbers at safety. You've recruited well there. I mean, I think Jacoby Matthews is a future first-round pick. He's a freakish athlete, and yes, I would have loved to have him in Baton Rouge. That's not even debatable. But LSU does have safety play. Major Burns will be healthy. You got Joe Fouché from Arkansas. Jay Ward's still back there at safety. You've recruited a lot of guys there. Davis, Sage Ryan, Tolles. You've Langlois. You got numbers at safety. But yes, you'd absolutely love to have a guy that's a future first-round pick at that position. Lucian Mixon, Jack Davis, Spunky Angolia. When is Hudco going to throw out some of that money? Glad you mentioned that. Hudco has embarked upon the in the NIL waters. For those that have not heard, we launched our Hudco Hometown Hero program. What it is for every roof that we replace, so you hire Hudco, we replace your roof, we will take a portion of our net profit and we will commit that to an NIL deal with the student athlete of the client's choosing. So it can be someone you know. It could be your favorite athlete. We will reach out to that athlete and say, hey, look, would you like to do an NIL deal with us? They would basically be a Hudco Hometown Hero. We would add them to the roster on our website. They would make a social media post about us. Maybe even sign an autograph for the homeowner, take a picture, something like that. And that's that. So another reason to do business with Hudco, commercial or residential. Hudco's pinned in the comments, by the way. Dan Lambert, little Buffalo Trace store pick. Kirk Taylor, Steve Scott, good evening. Little red wine earlier. Tito's a splash of water now. There you go. Mostly importantly, keep up the great work. Thank you, Steve. Very kind. Appreciate that. Bo McClure. In a year we went 6-7 after going 5-5. We have number 12 high school class, number 6 overall class. Absolutely. Here's the thing that I'll say. I'll do this quickly, and then I'll go detailed everything I know about Perkins and Jacoby, the money, the dollars, everything. And by the way, Trevante Citizen, his money, Danny Lewis, the tight end, his money. I mean, it was all NIL. NIL was the driving force behind all of this stuff today. And which is, I think, the indicator is that the February signing class, the driving force in February signing class is going to be NIL. Wait, someone just asked, is my internet your camera out of focus? Is anybody else having trouble with the camera? And is anybody else having trouble with the on YouTube having trouble with the camera? Blurry. Why is it blurry? Weird. Try this and that. See if that helps. Did that help? Oh, blurry on TV, on phone, it's okay. Let me know if that helped. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there with, I don't know what's going on there. It's not my internet. I'm right next to the router and we got full everything. So, I mean, Facebook looks fine. So it's not the internet. So I apologize for that. I don't know what's going on there. I'm looking at it, it looks clear, so my apologies. Anyway, okay, so let's see if that helps. Let me know if that helped. My apologies to everybody who's watching on YouTube who's got a blurry picture. Apologize, sorry about that. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully it clears up here in a little bit. I don't know. So you can always jump over to Facebook and watch there. Boy, that's bizarre. I really don't know why it's doing that. We've never had that problem before. Okay. I'm going to plug the battery back in. My apologies, y'all. I know this is slowing us down a little bit, so I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, wait. It's good now. Someone says good now. Let me know if it gets bad again. And I'm monitoring. Let me know if it gets bad again. Sorry for that. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're clear. Okay, I see now. Good. Sorry, I don't know why that happened. So anyway, real quick to catch up. I apologize. Signing day. I think so often we focus on signing day, and this isn't just LSU. This is everywhere. We tend to focus on who we tend to focus on the negative. We tend to focus. That's it. Period. That's it. Period. All right, Drew. What's up? You want to say hi to Dad Show?
Hi, Dad Show.
Hi, Dad Show. All right. You look so handsome in your jammies with your hair done. What's tomorrow? Thursday. And on Thursday, we'll do what?
Dad Show.
We'll do Dad Show.
Not for Dad.
After Dad Show,
Good.
we'll go to the New St. Lillian. And then after Thursday is Friday. Okay.
The identical
on the bus.
The identical on the bus.
The identical on
Okay.
the bus.
So, on signing day, we typically tend to focus on the negative. Not just LSU, that's everyone. You tend to focus on who you didn't get. It's the disappointment of not getting someone that you recruited for a long time and kind of convinced yourself was going to be. Lucian said, do you do gutters? Hudco does gutters. Yes, we do, Lucian. HudcoRoofing.com. Fill it out online. We'd love to help you. It's the disappointment of not getting someone who you recruited for so long and you maybe convinced in your mind or had in your mind is going to your school and whatever. And then the player doesn't come and it's disappointing. If you look big picture though, like pull back and clear the mechanism of everything you didn't get and think of it like this. You got a 5-star quarterback. You got a 5-star left tackle. You got a 5-star linebacker. You got a 4-star offensive lineman from Baton Rouge who everybody wanted who could be a day one starter. You got 12 players in the transfer portal that immediately supplements your roster. You did exceptional work considering, all things considered, of course. So I'll drink to that, by the way. A coach coming in after coach was fired, new coach, short time frame, new staff, everything, to put together, as was mentioned, the number 6 combined class when you include transfers, which I think has to be included. That's incredible work. It is. And what Brian Kelly and his staff have done with this class is they have given themselves a chance to be successful in 2022. Because had they only recruited 25 high school players, which they didn't even sign 25 out of high school. Remember, Les signed 13 in his first class in 2005. Had they only recruited high schoolers, you still would have had an enormous disadvantage because of your limited numbers. So they made the most of the rules this year to get what they could, and I thought they've given themselves an opportunity to be competitive in the SEC in 2022. In the future, they're not going to be signing 12 transfers. So, yes, we're going to focus on who they didn't get, and that's a bummer. But if you focus on who you did get and how your roster is being built, that's all you can really think about, especially because you can't sign everybody. You only have 25 spots, and this year 32. And yes, you would have loved to have Jacoby Stevens or Matthews, excuse me. And there's other players, Trevante Citizen. But the reality is you got Noah Kane. You got Noah Kane and John Emery's back, and your 2 freshmen from last year back, and you also have Trey Bradford, and you have 5 scholarship running backs. You're okay there, Anyway, let's talk about the money, because I know a lot of people want to know about that. Bart St. Germain, Josh DeVilliers, Matt Boyles, what's good, man? Ron Wisnant, Darren Gagnon, Lee Tregree, Joseph Guidry, Scott Zachary. Appreciate y'all for being here. Kelly Root, what's up? And remember, I will get to all of your questions. You have questions, comments, I'll get to them all. Just be patient with me. I'll stay here for as long as y'all want to hang out. That's the thing on Nightcap with Scone. I'll stay here for as long as y'all want. Just be patient with me. I'll get to all your comments. Okay. Greg Accardo, what's your favorite rye? So it's not rye bourbon. Remember, it's rye whiskey. Whiskey is the category. There's rye and there's bourbon and there's Irish whiskey and Scotch. Anyway, but rye, I'm a rye guy. It just depends if I'm looking higher end or like everyday. Everyday rye is Sazerac rye. If we're going high end, I think the Kentucky Owl 11-year rye is amazing. All of the Whistle Pig offerings are awesome. I think probably the Whistle Pig, the Boss Hog, Black Prince, or the Samurai are probably my favorites from there. They got some great stuff. Anyway, okay, let's talk money, and I'll tell you everything I know. And it's interesting because normally I wouldn't. When you have sort of off the record conversations, those off the record conversations tend to frame your commentary, but you don't necessarily divulge what you know. That's all different now. Because all of this is above board. And I've seen offer sheets and I know numbers and all that, and I'll share them with you. Because it's, I think, no different than talking about a coach's contract or something like that. So, Jacoby Matthews, let's start there. Jacoby Matthews, kid from Ponchatoula, wanted to go to LSU. Kid wanted to go to LSU. Initially, he comes from a family that does not have great means. I'll put it to you that way. And there's no judgment here. It's at all. I'm just painting the picture for you. Jacoby wanted to go to LSU. His family wanted him to take the best NIL deal. They wanted him to take the most amount of money. The most amount of money he was offered actually came from the University of Texas, but Texas and Texas A&M were close. There was a big gap yesterday, Tuesday, with LSU and Texas A&M with respect to the NIL money. And the A&M offer, and A&M has offer sheets, like they're signing kids to offer sheets. Now, I want to be clear, when I say A&M, the school can't do it. A&M has had a collective, a group of business owners come together and commit dollars to this pool that they're offering as NIL opportunities. So the collective, I should say, when I say A&M, I don't mean the school itself. I mean, this collective. I'm just using A&M, but I think you all understand what I'm saying here. The deal they had offered Jacoby was 4 years, $100,000 per year. But here's the caveat. So that was an amount of money. And this was the problem with Harold Perkins, which I'll get to in a second as well. Why Perkins ultimately decommitted. Jacoby's deal at $100K thought was $100K, $400K, right? You get $400K, boom. Not exactly. The way A&M has structured their deals in their offer sheets is like this. The $100K is the total value of the contract. Think of it like if you're an employee somewhere and you have like a salary and you have a car allowance and you have a 401k match or something like that, and all of that together, paid leave or something like that, all of that together adds up to this amount. But the cash amount is actually this, right? And then you have taxes, which makes it here, and right? And so it looks more like this than this, actually, even though this is the big number shiny number they put in the contract. So the pre-tax cash value annually was actually going to be around like 80, which is still incredible, right? For a family that doesn't have much, you see it, whatever. But here's the other part of the equation with A&M. As an effort to prevent kids from taking a lump sum up front and then leaving, the way that they structured it is it's per semester. So it's not a lump of, it wouldn't have been a lump of 400K. It would have been 100 per year, right? With 50 per semester, which actually in the cash value was closer to like 40 a semester. But you don't get the money until 60 days into that semester. So you have to wait to get it. It's basically designed to prevent kids from taking the money and leaving. Harold Perkins had a $500,000 offer from A&M, $125 a year. He thought he was going to get $500K, and then a year later go get another NIL deal somewhere else. And they were like, oh, no. And so he got his feelings hurt and said, bleep you, I'll leave. So he did. And LSU was able to make a favorable enough offer. But my understanding with Perkins' offer at LSU is not upfront money. It was the promise of deals down the line to say, hey, look at what we did with Keyshawn Butte. Look at what we're doing with Mason Smith and Ali Gay. Like, we're going to make sure that you get taken care of. Okay, so back to Jacoby. So last night, Tuesday night, I'll be very broad. It was explained to the Matthews family how the contract was structured, that 100 a year, that 400 was actually like 80, and then tax, and then LSU yesterday increased its offer. So they closed this gap. Okay. I think LSU was around 20, and then they got to 50. Okay. That's I don't have that hard and fast. That's my understanding, is that's the range. And I understand it's a broad range, but that's where it was. So understand where the gap. And then it was sort of explained to the Matthews family, like, now look, you still have a gap, but remember, you want to travel to College Station to see your son. Well, that's gas money and food money and hotel money. And so now all of a sudden, this keeps coming down, this gap gets smaller. Are you willing to take less to have your son where he wants to be and to be able to see him all the time, yada, yada. That was the pitch, okay? And this morning, Jacoby went to Ponchatoula and was going to sign his letter of intent with LSU. He asked them to print the paperwork for LSU. That was around 9 a.m. when I got that word. Jacoby's dad had a meeting, one more meeting today with an LSU booster, who they were able to, again, raise the money, like I told you, bring it from here to here to close the gap even further, and it was done. Like, Jacoby was going to come to LSU. At that point, Texas A&M increased their offer. What I was told is that year one, Jacoby's going to get 150. So the one in year one went to 150. In years 2, 3, 4, it's 125. So it was such a sizable difference that the family felt like they couldn't pass on it. They couldn't walk away from that money. And that's the conundrum that that a lot of families face, and that I think it's easy for you and me to sit and point fingers and say, that's a shame. Some people even say, oh, that's a shame, the kid's going to be miserable. Like, hold on. He ain't going to be miserable at Texas A&M. They got amazing world-class facilities. They've got great fan support. They've got great coaches. I mean, they're in the SEC. Like, he ain't going to be miserable. Kid ain't going to be starving there. He's going to do just fine there, okay? He's going to be well coached, and he's going to go to the NFL and all that sort of stuff. But he wanted to play at LSU. You know, I've never, thankfully, I didn't grow up rich or anything. but I also didn't grow up wanting for a lot, you know. So I don't know what it's like to not know like where our next meal is going to come and that sort of thing. So that's why it's really hard for me to try to criticize that family. And if you have an opportunity to better your lot in life, to provide financial stability, it's hard to walk away from it. I get it. So anyway, that's what happened with Jacoby. LSU did try to go back late today. I say LSU, I mean a booster. Went back late today to Jacoby to try to make one more push and increase the money for him. An LSU booster stepped up late. It just was too late. Wasn't enough. So he picked A&M. Garrett Broussard, do you use two different devices to stream from both platforms? I do. There is software you can use. I just haven't, that would allow you to take one feed and broadcast to multiple. I just haven't bought it yet. So I use my Microsoft Surface for Facebook and my phone for YouTube. So that's what happened with Jacoby. With the rest of the guys, Danny Lewis, the tight end, Bama, he got a $25,000 NIL commitment. So it's absolutely laughable to hear Nick Saban say they never paid a player, which is, I mean, I've literally had firsthand conversations with LSU boosters who paid players, recruits, when Nick was here. I mean, it's so stupid for him to say that. I mean, there's always plausible deniability or whatever, but look, if this is the thing that ultimately forces him out of the game, awesome, good. Purge him out. Because what it's done is basically allowed everyone to level the playing field. So Danny Lewis got $25K. Remember I told you that Harold Perkins was miffed that he didn't get the money up front from A&M. Trevante Citizen, I don't know his dollar amount, but Miami gave him the lump liquid up front, and that's what sealed him. Think of it this way, guys. Like, Trevante Citizen said over and over again that relationships were the biggest thing. Well, he had the relationship with Frank Wilson. They had a relationship with Cadillac Williams at Auburn. Like, he had relationships, and he went to the place where he knows nobody. New staff where he knows nobody. Why? Because they gave him money. I mean, they gave him money. Money went out. And you get to go live in South Beach and Coral Gables and all that sort of stuff, but whatever. And then I feel like I'm forgetting something. That might be it. The other thing I'll tell y'all, with respect to NIL, I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but I just want to get all of this out and then I'll go through your comments. The other thing that became abundantly clear to me today is Florida. Florida, and I don't know who Florida's boosters are. I don't know where their money is. I don't. I'll ask around. I'll try to find out. But Florida, Florida apparently has come to the party. And I got that receiver out of Texas today, and I was very, very nervous that they were going to pull a shocker and get Harold Perkins. I was nervous. Glad they didn't. But I know there's a lot of people here who have said, well, look, they've assembled this LSU staff, right? Or this Louisiana staff with Napier and Corey Raymond and Jabbar Jalouk. And look, they only got one player out of Louisiana. That's true. I really do. I do worry about what it's going to look like in future years with that staff, with time to recruit, with the NIL money they are absolutely willing to commit in Gainesville. I think that's going to be one to watch also. Okay. Richie Burke, these kids get a W-2 or 1099. 1099. They're contract employees. Yes, but that's a great question. So like one of the benefits of dealing with a company like Matchpoint is Matchpoint handles all of that for you. If you do a deal through Matchpoint, Matchpoint handles the tax perfect. They handle the 1099 and all that sort of stuff. But yes, but it is a great question. They're 1099. Blake Oob, what's up? John, David, Graham, Matt. Does the fact some of these kids are making a decent amount of money change the way you professionally critique 18 to 22-year-olds? Nope, it doesn't. Someone else asked me that earlier today, and I'll tell you why. It's not pay for play. They're not being paid to play. And they're not being paid by the school. When you're being paid by a business to endorse a business, if you want to heckle them for not delivering a huge audience to the business or something, that's fine. But they're not being paid to play, and there is a big difference. You may argue that it's semantics. It's actually not. If the schools were paying, if your tax dollars or your money for tickets, concessions, etc., is what was paying those players, that would be a different story. But it's not. Hong Tam Win, what's up? Rami Kasem, what's up? Let's see. Where's honor and purity? Come on, Blake. It's business. Honor and purity. I mean, there's nothing unethical. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing immoral. There's nothing wrong with what's going on. It's allowed. They're doing it. Brian Doherty, what's going on, man? Is it safe to say LSU businesses put their money into the position of most need? No, Brian. It's safe to say that LSU didn't have enough people step up. That's the reality. And LSU had a big event tonight. And I'll tell you that LSU, because I was at lunch today with Gordon McKernan. Hey, babe.
You should wrap this real quick. I'm start washing
Yeah.
stuff and just,
Was at lunch today. It was a business luncheon. What do you want me to do? Just
That band-aid keeps coming off. I'm gonna go through my phone.
Erica's got a wound here. Hey, trivia. Erica had a battle. What did you do, Erica?
Tried to just walk up the curb to work, and here, just cut it. And I totally I had a case of water in my hand, and I was on my phone. I fell and got aggregate concrete. What's that aggregate called? That rocky concrete. And skid my palm on that. Some very deep wounds. Thank you.
You're welcome. I forgot what the question was. Oh. So I was at lunch. I'm with Gordon, with high-ranking TAF officials, and the LSU has hired the new president of TAF is Matt Borman. He was there. LSU has hired a consulting firm that presented tonight, but I forgot the name of it, but not Oasis, something like that. Anyway, to present tonight to the business community about how to get involved and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't go to the event tonight. It started at 6, and I didn't even get out of guarantee till after 6:30, so it wouldn't have really been done me any good. I missed an hour of it, but suffice to say, my big takeaway with those conversations today is that LSU isn't necessarily so far behind the rest of the country. LSU's done okay. They're just, by comparison to Texas A&M and Texas and Miami and some of the deepest pocketed schools who have stepped up big time early, they are trailing, like everyone is trailing those schools. And I will be really interested to see, because let me be just abundantly clear with NIL, y'all. The reason Keyshawn Butte is an LSU football player right now and not an Alabama football player is because of Gordon McKernan. Period. Gordon stepped up and said, "You're not taking our best player." And he went and did a deal with Keyshawn. Paid him a lump sum up front. It's a lot of money. So, major kudos to Gordon. when a lot of people were being reactive and not sure what to do, he just said, fuck it, let's roll. We gotta do something. But the reality is, Gordon can't do it by himself. He can't. I mean, he runs an amazing business and has done exceptionally well for himself, but you're talking about Texas oil money. You're talking about dozens of billionaires. Can't do it by himself. So the real charge is, will the rest of the LSU business community step up? And here's the difficult part, okay? This is the difficult part. Oh, by the way, smash the like button if you would. 422 watching on YouTube, which is fucking awesome, but only 90 likes. Please take a second, smash the like button. If you're on mobile, X out of the live chat, hit the thumbs up, come right back in. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all watching. And 221 here on Facebook. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Here's the problem that LSU has. LSU's roster of wealthy donors isn't as long as those in Texas and A&M and Florida and Miami, and the well isn't as deep. They got people with money, don't misunderstand me. The problem is, when your roster isn't that deep, you end up going to the same people over and over again. So look at what's happened just in the last 12 months. Kim Mulkey, you had to go hat in hand asking for over $2 million a year for Kim Mulkey. And she wanted a lot of other stuff too. She wanted facilities, she wanted a recruiting budget, she wanted a lot of stuff. And they gave her all of it. $17 million to fire Ed Ogeron. $100 million committed to hire Brian Kelly. You have ongoing things like facility upgrades, and then you have suites at football and at baseball and premium seating, and you keep going to the same people and you keep asking the same people over and over again. So they do all that, and then you go, oh, by the way, now we got to pay the players. And they're like, hold on. So some of LSU's biggest donors have not gotten involved in NIL. I'm not saying they won't, but they have not of yet. And that's a problem. I think you give it a year, when the sting of the Ogeron buyout and Mulkey, like, you give it a year, let's see, probably a very different reality. But it's something that absolutely has to be discussed and considered. Okay. Big shout out to everybody watching, man. Very grateful to everybody. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco is pinned in the comments. Would love it if you need a roof replacement. Maybe still post IDA. If you've got your scope of work paperwork, it's a golden ticket. Give us a shout. Boom. We're picking out shingle colors. We're roofing you in 2 to 3 weeks. GameCoin, thegamecoin.net, had a board meeting on Tuesday, yesterday. Got to see the wireframe for the platform. So exciting to see the progress. mycleanliving.net, check it out. Great air purifier products that clinically proven to eliminate the COVID virus, air and on surfaces. We got one in our home. You see me with one every day in the studio in AFR. And my girl Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. They're all linked in the Facebook page, if you would. I'll put them in the description on YouTube also. All right, let me get to some of you and what you all have to say. I'll try to catch up a little bit here. Robbie White, good evening. I could put into Facebook jail. Called your boy from, well, thank you, but I'm not going to talk about him anymore. Rogers W, what's good? Boss Hog for the birthday, nice. Nicholas Cantrell, FPS Jarrett. Do you think Jacoby hits the portal to come to LSU? Impossible to say right now. Impossible to say. Ghastly Gamer, what's good? Matthews is a liar, said NIL had nothing to do with it. Well, that's a lie. And I will be curious when, I'll give Harold Perkins this. Every interview he ever did, he talked about how big of a deal NIL was. Robert Griffin, what's up? Kevin Vircher, what's up? Julian Wilson, big fan. wondering your thoughts on how full of shit Jimbo Fisher is. He's completely full of shit. It's actually insulting to me and to you and every other intelligent person to hear, when you hear Nick Saban talk about how people are making offers for NIL, when you hear Lane Kiffin's comments, when you hear the players themselves discuss NIL opportunities and the importance of that in recruiting, when there are literal offer sheets, when there's a paper trail of what's going on, to hear Jimbo flatly deny everything is stupid, and it's legal. It's legal. That's the craziest part about it. It's insulting to you and to me for him to take that stance with it. Ryan Dixon, what NIL changes will the NCAA make? Ryan, none. And here's the kicker. It's a good question. A lot of people ask it. If you remember, and I'm not defending the NCAA, but I will say this. California, you remember when LeBron and the governor of California signed the NIL deal? Do you remember that? 3 years ago, whatever it was. And they put that into their law that it would go live on July 1 or whatever, 2024 or whatever. The NCAA had a chance to act. They sat on their hands. And other states got more aggressive. Florida got more aggressive, Texas, etc. And so the NCAA went to Congress. Mark Emmert went to Congress, said, look, need y'all to do something. We need y'all to act and put together a universal legislation, or all the states are going to do it. Well, Congress wouldn't act. Some states started approving it, and the NCAA looked around and said, well, we can't have a situation where Florida and Texas and California are paying players, but LSU and Ohio State and Alabama can't, right? So the NCAA went, okay, do what y'all want. The NCAA has no ability or desire to police NIL. There's nothing they can do. It will have to be some type of federal legislation that comes in, because the NCAA doesn't have the resources to police NIL. They can't police their rules now. You want them to police NIL? Every soccer player that's doing an appearance or getting a free lunch to take a picture, like how do you police that? You know what I mean? So no, there's no way. The NCAA can't do anything. Nicholas Cantrell, Spurge, what's good? Patrick P, what's good? Some whiskey companies give you an NIL deal. I have a deal with Sazerac Rye, and I love it. A versatile rye whiskey, awesome spirit, neat rocks in a cocktail, awesome. Rapid batches, D Snuts. What's up, D Snuts? Thoughts on the Flores? Well, you put nonsense, so you're editorializing there. I think it's very obvious that the Giants had already had their guy, and Flores was a token interview. I mean, Bill Belichick's text messages tell you that. I think there's a dose of irony that the rule they were trying to satisfy in the name of equality is the thing that actually ended up being what proved the inequality. Man, I don't have it's such a not only a polarizing topic, it's such an important topic that if I really try to comment without having a full grasp of everything that's being alleged, I feel like it would just be disingenuous, man. So I think Brian Flores is a hell of a coach. If the Saints hired him, I'd be pumped. I really wish that I wish in our world this wasn't a thing. I wish we didn't have to talk about things like race or consider that. But it's also a reality that we do face. So I just really don't have anything super profound to say. Pro Lawn Care Baton Rouge, Trevante Citizen to the U. Must have gotten a guaranteed spot. Too much competition in the SEC. He got upfront money. But I'll tell you also from LSU standpoint, I think you're okay not getting Trevante Citizen. He may be an awesome back, and I hope he is. Good luck to him. It's great that you don't have to worry about him. You never have to see him. He's at Miami. That's 1 and 2. LSU's got 5 scholarship running backs. I think they'll be fine. Riley Ortego. The fact that we have the 12th ranked recruiting class, 6 overall, is amazing. Bama, Georgia, A&M, only teams ahead of us. Very true. When does Matt House get on campus? He's here, man. Your fave 5 head. How do we know which coaches can genuinely recruit and which just bring checkbooks to the visit? It's a great question, man. I mean, I'll put it to you this way, like, Trevante Citizen, kid from Lake Charles. It's where Frank's been. Had that relationship. Thought you were good there. But Miami stepped up and Miami Boosters cut a big check with a big lump sum up front. And kid took it. Okay. Bobby, whiskey raffle question. If someone wins Pappy 23, do they have to pay a couple grand to get the bottle after winning? Can you explain how it works? Absolutely, Bobby. So if they draw your name, you get to pay the retail price, not the secondary market price. So the bottle of Pappy 23 is a couple $100. I don't know what, maybe $2.99, which is incredible, right? I mean, instead of going to the secondary market and paying, let's see, Pappy 23, $6 grand, 18. Well, let's see, $6 grand, 6,500. I mean, that's secondary market prices for Pappy 23. So instead you pay $300. Yeah, awesome. It's kind of the fair way to do it, right? Because if you're a retailer and you have great customers, how do you decide who you sell your one bottle of Pappy 23 to? You can't. So Calandros did a great thing years ago, and they decided, let's turn this into a raffle and raise money for charity. And last year they raised $75,000, which is amazing. So let's all do a great thing. And if you happen to win the right to buy an awesome bottle, fantastic. Calandros raffle is tomorrow. It'll be virtual again. We'll do it from the 1045 ESPN studio. So the 1045 Facebook and YouTube channel, you can watch it there. Samuel Smith talked to Bama DC at the Crescent Bar in Hammond a few weeks ago. Said Brian Kelly was an incredible hire and wins everywhere. Got me fired up. Awesome. They tried to hire him. Trivia, what's up with the SEC alignment? Can't wait to see Texas and OU in our conference. No word yet. My understanding that they initially talked about was that they'd go to four-team pods. All right. Reagan, unless you share, I know this is an LSU show. I'm an LSU fan. How does the Ole Miss alumni collective that I know has money, not knocking the doors down in NIL? Hugh Freeze did it without just saying. Because Ole Miss doesn't have that kind of money. And that's the part you're missing. Even if they're, whatever boosters that are there for Ole Miss, you got to keep in mind, like they just ponied up to pay Lane Kiffin, and it's, you are in a poorer state, just like Louisiana. I mean, Louisiana and Mississippi have a similar plight. The difference is in Mississippi, you've got 2 Power 5 schools. In Louisiana, LSU's the only game in town. Crip Cotton Candy, what's up? Hunter Marashak, what's up? Sean Z. All right. Scrolling down. Kyle Milliken, Drew loves when you say the new St. Lillian. He wants me to say it like that. The new St. Lillian. My son Drew was in here a little bit, so if you just joined us, you missed that. 412 watching there on YouTube. I love y'all, dude. Seriously, thank you so much. 412 on YouTube, 143 on Facebook. I mean, to have 550 people watching at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night is awesome. Thank y'all. Blake Oob, let's see, James Castleberry, small donors, always work in politics. It can here too. James, by the way, I agree with you. And it was the most interesting part of the conversation we had with the woman who was from the consulting firm, who LSU hired. The point she made, which was a very good one, was to business owners, like, just get involved, even if it's if it's $100 here, if it's an autograph, if it's a lunch, if it, like, just those small enticements matter a lot to a lot of these kids. And we're focusing so much on the big money deals, but only a handful of players are actually getting those. So think in larger scope. I'm not going to divulge the dollar amount of it, but maybe I should. But I won't. Like, I'll put it to you this way. When Derek Stingley did his deal with walk-ons, when NIL first went live and Stingley did his walk-ons deal, that was a 4-figure deal. It wasn't massive. Wasn't massive. I think overwhelmingly the deals are smaller than you think. But Bryce Young doing $1 million likeness deal with a trading card company or something like that is always going to get more attention, but it doesn't mean that's the norm. BK Flowers, Mark Allen, Matt could sell his top shelf whiskey and pay $17 million. Mark, if it was all unopened, I'll put it this way: if it was all unopened, let me try to guess at this. If it was all unopened, and I was talking secondary market, okay, of everything just on the top shelf, all unopened. Now it's all opened, but if it was unopened, and this is what you see here is my second shelf, by the way, top shelf. Yeah, I probably 12 grand. I could probably get 12 if all of that was unopened. The top shelf, 12 grand. Everything here, if everything here was unopened, you'd probably be talking about, I could probably do $100,000 on the secondary market. If everything here was unopened, I could probably get 6 figures. Wayne Letts, Hudco Roofing. I'm always singing that at work. There it is. Let's do it then.
Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing. When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio.
All you need is Hudco.
Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing. Call Hudco Roofing.
364
1007. Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing.
All right. Hudco's NIL deal is live. We've done some great deals already, man. Micah Baskerville, Cade Beloso, Gavin Dugas, Cade Doty. There's a baseball player at Northwestern State. Mason Zambo, baseball player at ULL. We're already doing NIL deals. So you do a roof with us, we'll commit a portion of our net profit from that deal to do an NIL deal with the athlete of your choice. Any athlete, any sport, any school. HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. Keegan Hayes, good evening. Do we know if Chad Harris is currently involved with A&M Boosters? Largest crypto mine in the U.S. I don't know, Keegan. Good question. LSU Sway. Why did 247 drop Walker and Will? I don't know. Ghastly Gamer. Love you, Matt. But you keep saying Les Miles signed 13 his first year. The caveat to that was all he could sign that year to hit 85. Oh, I didn't know that. I really didn't remember that, Ghastly Gamer. So they oversigned the year before. So would Nick have oversigned then in his final season? My understanding was Les came in. I wasn't covering the team yet, by the way. I didn't start covering the team till 2007. So I really didn't remember that. So good on you for telling me that. So Nick would have oversigned in 2004, and so they had to undersign. They had fewer spots. He didn't oversign by 12, did he? That's weird. I'll have to go back and look at it. Stephen Blaze, have you seen Saban saying Alabama has never paid players? I did, and Saban is also a bold-faced liar. I have personally had firsthand conversations with boosters who have told me they personally paid student athletes to come to LSU when Nick was the coach. And I know some of the deals he's done at Alabama to get guys. I know the deals LSU's done to get guys over the years. Oh, not LSU. Yes. Come on, man. I mean, you think Vidal Alexander's dad getting a no-show job at the Lake was the only NIL, well, not even NIL, was the only player that ever got enticed? Come on, man. Bradley Hawthorne, Matt, is it me or is it more difficult to get excited about recruits when you know not only could he leave in a year, but there will be somebody you can place him with in the portal as well? Sure, Bradley, but this is what I would tell you. Don't worry about getting super excited about recruits then. The point that I'll make is this. You know, a couple of years back in the NFL, there were all the protests and everything, and you had a lot of people saying, I'm not watching the NFL anymore, I'm done, yada, yada. You had 50 million people watching the NFC Championship game on Sunday. 50 million. What happened? All the people said they were going away. The same thing is going to be true for college football, man. We can bitch and moan and complain about NIL and pay for play and transfer portal and all. We can bitch and moan all about that shit. You know what's going to happen? Come September, when LSU's playing Florida State in the Superdome, that motherfucker's going to be packed. We're going to be going batshit crazy. T-Bob and I'll be doing whiskey and wine. Y'all all going to be watching. It's going to be the same thing. Because it's never, the reality is it has never been about the name on the back. It is always about the name on the front or the helmet. You will always love your school. You will always love your team, regardless of who's wearing the jersey. That's the reality. So NIL, no NIL, fucking transfer portal, it don't fucking matter. If Joe Fouché has a strip sack and a score in the opener against Florida State, you're not going to go, yeah, great play, but he was kind of at Arkansas before, and he just got here. I don't know that I'm super pumped about. Fuck no, man. He's going to score a touchdown for the Tigers, and you're going to be pumped about it. You know, Kyron Lacey goes for 75. You're not going to be like, oh, that's the kid who transferred from ULL? Nah. No, you're going to be like, fuck yeah, 75 yards. Awesome. So glad we got that guy. We're crushing you losers. Michelle Moore, what's up? Patrick, email. Can new signees end up in the transfer portal in, say, a month? They can when the portal reopens. I'll remind you about the receiver, Brew McCoy. Remember him? Texas, USC, went somewhere else. I don't even remember. All over the place. When the portal reopens, they can. Nicholas Cantrell, thoughts on Eagle Rare 17. Love it. I'll tell you my favorite of the B-Tax, though, this will surprise you a little bit, is Sazerac 18. Fucking butter. Amazing. Paul Jean, James Lynch, Texas schools have billionaires. LSU has millionaires. Recruiting is going to be an uphill battle going forward. Here's the thing I'll tell you, James. I say that a lot, sorry. The advantage that LSU has, and will always have, the advantage LSU will always have is the dirt. There will always be kids. LSU will always have Walker Howard in Lafayette. LSU will always have Will Campbell in Neville. LSU will always have Emory Jones at Catholic High. LSU will always have the kid from Louisiana who you cut him and he bleeds purple and gold, and no NIL or not, the motherfucker just wants to go to LSU. LSU will always have that guy in this state, in a talent-rich state. That's the advantage. That's how LSU, even if they're not paying what A&M is paying or Texas, that's how LSU will always remain competitive. Pastor, do you think Perkins is the toast of the class? Could be. Personally, I'm going to say what this program needs desperately is quarterback, left tackle. So I think Will Campbell, Walker Howard, potentially. It may come that Perkins ends up the highest drafted of anybody in this class. Should maybe Devin White. You know what I mean? Kids playing running back in high school too. And it's a position of need, absolutely. Antonio Buchert, is it true A&M spent $30 million on their recruiting class? I don't believe that. You see, that's where I dispute. I don't know how, like I gave you the number for Jacoby Matthews, right? I gave you the number. Jacoby Matthews is getting 150 this year and then 125 each subsequent year. So if you look at this year, I don't know how the math works. If you give 25 or even 30 kids, like how many did A&M sign? So A&M signed. Okay, so they've got 11 enrolled and 18 signed letter of intent, so 29. If 29 all got 100K, I mean, you're talking about 2.9 million? That ain't 30 million. And they all didn't get that amount of money. You know what I mean? So, no, I don't believe the number is right. I mean, unless if you're counting like the 4-year commitment, but I still don't even think that would amount to 30. So, no, I think that number is wrong. I don't think that's right at all. Brian Arsenault, what are your thoughts on Tyrann Matthews' tweet? I loved it. When I come home, they won't get another athlete from Louisiana. I loved it, dude. Fuck, I wish Tyrann Matthew would come coach the LSU team. God, I mean, he's got a long playing career left ahead of him, but when he's ready, come on. Bailey C. The Saints with Dennis Allen beat Marvin Lewis era Bengals. Won a lot of games, won the division, got playoffs, just didn't win in the playoffs. How much of that was Marvin Lewis? How much of that was Carson Palmer? Sounds like someone should start an LSU NIL DAO. Sounds like a job for you, Matt. Don't forget Texas has no state income tax, another part of it. But you do have to pay federal tax, right? But that's true. Where you at, Matt? Mark Tufts drinking Chattanooga whiskey, all right? Did you go to the LSU NIL meeting? I did not go. Ryan Caldwell, is Brian Kelly not doing any more interviews? I don't know. Brian has been very, and I understand it, like, but I have not, aside from the introductory press conference in early December, I have not spoken to Brian Kelly. He has cocooned himself. He had a shitload of work to do, y'all. I mean, he was left with a decimated roster and no coaches. I mean, he had to build up his coaching staff, his support staff. He had to recruit his ass off to finish this roster. I get why he's been a little low key. Dick Burleson, Matt, his takeaway from today: LSU can't compete in the NIL world. Is it going to be the 90s again when our ceiling was around 9-3? Hey man, early 90s ceiling wasn't 9-3. I mean, LSU had 6 straight losing seasons. No, I don't think that's the case, Dick. I think this is an ever-evolving game. LSU's not going to be able to spend the amount of money that a handful of schools will. But that's okay because of what I just mentioned. You're still going to get Walker Howard and Will Campbell, and you're going to get guys that just want to go to LSU and don't need NIL enticements to sign. You know, when they're here, they'll get deals. Reagan, Leicestershire. People forget about the people who graduate from Texas A&M and live in Texas. They were doing this shit under the table during the Pony Express days, but SMU had deeper pockets. Your fave 5 head. This sounds too detailed for Matt to be making it up. It's because I'm not making it up. I mean, isn't that the point? Like, I'll tell you this, man. I'm going to tread carefully here because I don't want to step on toes, and I certainly don't want to insult anybody or have anything misconstrued. I always tell you when you just have to consider the source and decide who you trust has good information. That's up to you. When Adam Schefter broke the news about Tom Brady, did any of us doubt that Schefter was right? By the way, I'm not telling you I'm Adam Schefter. I'm just illustrating a point, by the way. Because it's fucking Adam Schefter. We all knew it was right because it's fucking Adam Schefter. The thing that I'll tell you all the time is consider this. What does somebody, this should be your gauge. What does someone have to lose if they're wrong? If you're dildo douchebag Tiger fan 45 and you break news and you're wrong, what have you lost? Nothing. You're going to go back to your stupid fucking dead end job tomorrow that you hate, pretending to be a fucking newsbreaker. Right? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but that's the reality. Decide who you deem credible and then listen to those people. I've told you all this for 100 years, not literally 100 years, but I'm never breaking news guy. I don't want to be breaking news guy. It's not my thing. When I get info, I usually give it to people on the beat who I trust and let them break the news. All I want is the content on air to talk about. And I want to have that information so when I craft my opinion around it, I'm right. That's all I want. I'm not talking about being right about picking the fucking score of a game. I mean, you win some, you lose some, whatever. I just mean like when it comes to stuff like this. So I get a lot of information often. This is one of those instances though where it's odd. I'll be very honest with you with the NIL stuff because most guys that cover recruiting aren't knocking on the doors, talking to boosters and looking at the business component of sports. You haven't had to be a recruiting guy. You talk to the recruiting staff, you talk to high school coaches, you talk to the kids, you talk to the parents. Well, now the money aspect that's involved in NIL is very legitimate. You have this whole other component of the story, which is the people who are actually cutting the checks and doing the deals and writing the contracts. Well, I have a lot of those relationships, a lot of them. So I'm not getting information. I'm not talking to a high school coach. I'm talking to a 7-on-7 coach. That's not where I'm getting information. You know, you got to deem who you believe. I mean, if y'all were here when I was going through the whole contract situation, if you think I'm making that shit up, fuck. You think I got enough time in my day to make up that shit? Whew. Matt Plavidal, what's up? Riley Ortego, why would our ceiling be 9-3 if we signed the number 6 overall class? So, first of all, I don't really care about rankings. That if you want to care about rankings, that's great. And if you want to wear that as a badge of this or that, fine. But I'll remind you that you all are the same ones that keep talking about Texas A&M going 8-4 despite their recruiting class. Okay, so for what it's worth, why would LSU be 9-3? Okay. You're decidedly worse at cornerback this year. I don't know that you have great safety play. You have one proven linebacker in Micah Baskerville. I love that Ojolari and Ali Gay are back, and I think Mason Smith's going to be a star. I think the defensive line's going to be really good. I do. You will have 4 new starters on your offensive line, and you can try to sell me on Miles Frazier or Tremont Shorts and tell me the kid from FIU or East Tennessee State is going to be a fucking stud, but do we know that? None of your running backs have done a damn thing in college. I love Keyshawn Butte. He tilts the field. Miles Brennan started 3 games in his career. I don't even know if he's very good. I don't. So that's a lot of questions. Now, the flip side of it is you could say Brennan's a 5th-year guy, poised, love it. Keyshawn Butte, stud, who's going to guard him? And look at all the depth at receiver. You're right. I mean, look at the numbers at offensive line and all the guys who got experience. Okay, 5 running backs, fresh legs all day long. My point is you could spin it a certain way, but those things throughout the course of a 12-game SEC season tend to balance out. So the truth tends to lie somewhere in the middle, and it's just an unforgiving league, man. I mean, teams lose games. It's the SEC. I think the ceiling next year is going to be 9-3. I hope they hit it. Danny Braywick, what's up? Let's see, Brandon, what's up? Ghastly Gamer. I grew up very poor. My dad would still disown me for choosing anyone over LSU if I were in that situation. You know, Ghastly Gamer, it's easy to say. And maybe it's just a different era. But when you never actually had someone sitting at your table saying, here's this amount of money that's going to change your family's life. Like, you've been evicted 4 times. Here's enough money to pay off your house so you never have to worry about that again. Bro, I'm not even going to pretend to know what it's like to have to pass on that. Let's see. As always, y'all, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Y'all do me a solid. Honestly, if y'all want to, y'all know this, I will never put a paywall on anything I do. I will always do free content. I'll give my time. I'll always produce content. I'll give y'all every info I have, all that sort of stuff. What you can do for me, you need a roof, call us. Commercial, residential, gutters, soft wash, roof replacement, roof repair, call Hudco, HudcoRoofing.com. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, friend, neighbor, coworker. Let them know about Hudco. That's what you can do for me. That would be awesome. HudcoRoofing.com, pinned in the comments. Matt Lusto, you mentioned this always happened below the table if numbers always been this high. Some have. Some have, yeah. I'll tell you, there is a player in LSU's roster right now that got $30,000 from another SEC school and then didn't end up going there. So what do you think LSU gave him? You do realize, like, your basketball coach is on a federal wiretap discussing a, quote, strong-ass offer. The most amazing part of the whole thing to me are the people that are so naive. I'm not saying that's you, Matt, but the people that are so naive that don't actually understand that this has happened forever. It's so stupid. The people that would actually believe Nick Saban when he says, we've never paid a player. That's like people believing OJ said when he says, I didn't kill them people. Come on, bro. Like, I mean, dog, come on. I mean, you're a murderer. All right, Mike Andrews, Braxton Shelton. Trying to get through these a little bit, catch up. Appreciate y'all for being here, man. Oh man, where am I? I lost my spot. God dog it, sorry. Trying to catch up. Oh, here we are. Oh. Nope. Wait. God damn, there's a lot of comments here. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm trying to catch up though. Oh God, I'm just to the part where we're talking about Iraq. Hang on, I need another pour. I gotta get another pour. I was only gonna do one, but if y'all are still asking me, what should I drink, y'all? How about, do that. Let's see. I'm gonna drink Barrel Armida. This is a good one. Did this one a few weeks back. This is a really good pour. Barrel does some really, really good whiskey. And this is one of their Dovetail and Armida are their two of their rare releases. Actually, that was a gift from my guy Joe Juba. All right, let's see. Jump over here to Facebook, holler at y'all. Wayne, what's going on, man? Love the Hudco hats. Y'all sell them? We don't sell them, Wayne, but I got a bunch. So you know what we need to do? We're gonna do a Hudco hat party again soon. We're going to do it one day soon around an LSU basketball game or something like that. We'll get over to Pluckers or something like that. We'll do a Hudco hat party. Scott Flowers, what's up? Brian Kelly's LSU 22 roster better than his 21 Notre Dame roster. You know what, Scott? I'd be lying if I told you I knew. I saw Notre Dame play a couple times this year, but I don't know that roster 185. David Tolson, Sean Pumphrey. Hope we get a commitment from Trey Holly from Union High next year. Don't even know about him, man. Sorry. David Weatherford, do you know how much LSU paid this time in NIL for football only? Are you talking about this recruiting class? Man, I don't know that guys in December got paid. We weren't even talking about recruiting enticements in December. It was really just this. And so you got two guys. The 3-star cornerback, they didn't pay him anything. And Harold Perkins, what I was told, didn't get upfront money from LSU, but he got assurances of deals down the line. He was just so pissed at A&M when they the way they structured his deal there. And his family wanted them to come here to come home. David Johns, Coach Kelly can't even fart without a media shitstorm. Can't blame him for avoiding interviews. I'm with you, David. He's got way more important shit to do right now than do interviews. And that's a big contrast from the last guy who went on radio every Tuesday. Now it was on our station, and so you're grateful for that, but like, how many times can you say we had a phenomenal week of practice? I mean, phenomenal. Over and over and over again. Anyway, not about him. Wayne, what's up? Fucking right, Matt. Tell him I was always told I was born an asshole and I'm a dying asshole. What that means. Damn it. Dildo douchebag LSU fan 45 is taken. Oh, are you serious? Oh, I got him right. Dana Walker, what's up? Brian Horvath, what's up? Can we agree Burrow is going to be special? No. He already is. That's not even debatable. Shelby, I'll answer the Miles Brennan question. He's not great. He has happy feet in the pocket, holds the ball too long. You know what, Shelby? It is interesting to me. What's up, Bill Gallion? What's interesting to me about Brennan is when I talk to people about Brennan now, they mention how many yards he threw for in those first few games of 2020, and they forget exactly what you said. Y'all, I remember it because I was doing postgame. Miles Brennan got crushed after the Mississippi State loss. For Trivia Carter, who's on here, would say every week that he's jacking off the football. I don't know if Miles Brennan's going to be great. I don't. I hope he is. I think he's got a great arm. I'm pumped that he's been around as long as he has. Now, he's also had Cam Cameron, recruited by Cameron, Matt Camden in 2017, Ensminger, Peets, and now another OC. So you're talking like 4 on-field quarters and 5 that he's learned from during his time committed to and being at LSU. Bro. Now, Kelly Root, this is a good point. Said, Matt, watch out. Boosters are going to start donating to NIL, reduced half donations. It's coming. I'm going to tell you, Kelly Root, that is a very, very, very real concern. If you're TAF and you are the fundraising arm of LSU Athletics, how do you tell your boosters to not give money to you and to give them to players instead? You're right. That is a very real, it's very astute. Believe me, that is, I'm telling you, that is a very real conversation that's being had. Stefan, am I hearing church bells in the background? Am I going insane? You are hearing Drew's music box. In the bedroom, he's got a sound machine, a music box. That's what you're hearing. It's like lullabies. Good ears, though. Joshua Mayu, when NIL is the Wild Wild West phase, which school? Sorry, man, I think your comment got cut off. David Johns, our meat is great juice, it is. As it pertains to NIL, would it be in LSU's interest to lobby state and local government to make the state more attractive to recruit new businesses? So, David, they're not recruiting new business. I'll tell you what they are doing right now. They are lobbying the legislature, and this may not happen until the session in the summer. Like legislative session. But right now, in the state of Texas, schools can broker NIL deals. The coach can say to the player, hey, listen, you need to go talk to Bob at Dildo von Liechtenstein's, and he's going to hook you up with an NIL deal. Like the university representative can do that right now in Texas. You can in Louisiana. So TAF, LSU admins are working with legislators to get that legislation changed to make it easier to facilitate some of these deals. Do you think NIL will expedite college football to a point where conference as they are now don't exist? Yeah, that's part of it, for sure. Yes. Alex Roboleski, thoughts on LSU baseball? I like LSU baseball. I think LSU baseball is good at baseball and fun. I know that's not what you were asking. Light on the palate, long on the finish. I think LSU baseball is going to hit the shit out of the ball. They're can't pitch around everybody. When we talk about Cruz, Berry, Dugas, Doty, Morgan, Beloso, shit, man, they're fired up about the kid Joe Bear who transferred in. I think he's going to start in right field. You mentioned Thompson. Got to pitch to somebody, man. You can't pitch around everybody, and this lineup is going to be loaded. I think opening weekend they'll go rotation: Fontenot, Coleman, Floyd, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll see if it sticks. Nickelback had bangers in the early 2000s. It's time for Brian Kelly to have some in the early 2000s. So Brian O'Neill. Looking forward did with sorry ass Tua. Sean Pumphrey, the Burner statue, when's it going up? Good question. I don't know. What's Ensminger doing now? He's not an analyst. There was a long time where he didn't go up to the building after the 2020 season until they were shitting the bed and they asked him for help. And he started kind of helping the coaches a little bit. Steve Menard. What's up, Steve Menard? Good to see you, man. Hi, West American Prairie. All right. Pretty good. Love to see Drew talking so well. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that, man. Hope you and yours are well. Delta von Liechtenstein. That's great wings and cold beer. Hey, babe. All right. YouTube 338 hanging on with us with 232 likes. Y'all are fucking awesome. 105 watching. I mean, it's 10:35 at night. We got 442 people watching. That's awesome. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Hudco, Gamecoin, mycleanliving.net. Y'all go buy some at mycleanliving.net. You're a business owner. You want to eliminate odors. You want to keep your business, your school, your office, your church, your home clear of COVID or strep, flu, staph. If you own a gym, you should absolutely have their air purifier in your gym. Like all of the damn nasty germs and viruses, staph. Like I think about this, man. My junior year of high school, our starting quarterback got a staph infection because our pads were never cleaned. If we had one of these from My Clean Living had one of those in the locker room, not only would have eliminated odor, would have killed all that shit. MyCleanLiving.net. 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 Nicholas Cantrell, shit, I can stay up all night. We have a snow day tomorrow. All right, I'm going to start at the bottom and go back up. Trivia Carter, David Bowden, did Jacoby Matthews? No. Ronnie Dugai, Louisiana needs to get on the ball. It's like gambling thing. We're behind again. We are. Leonard, Sarasota. What are names you would like to see on the basketball coaching hot board if and when the FBI investigation catches up with Willie Wade? You know what's going to be interesting, Leonard? So, here's a little tidbit for y'all. So when Will was suspended and then reinstated, they reworked his contract, as you might recall. And they reworked his contract to where if LSU got an NOA, which is a notice of allegations, that they could fire him for cause. I mean, they would fire him and owe him nothing. Well, there is one very, very prominent LSU booster who is a very big Will Wade fan. And even if an NOA comes, I don't think they're going to fire him. The only thing that could take Will Wade away from LSU, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I want to be clear, just my opinion. The only thing that could take Will Wade away from LSU, in my opinion, is if he gets a show cause. If he gets a show cause and can't coach, then they'd have to fire him and hire somebody else. But I don't know. Trivia, I'm an asshole, but terrible quarterback play. Taysom Hill is trash and Miles is still holding the fucking ball. I don't think you're an asshole, Trivia. I think you're right. John Smithsonian. Good evening, Matt. Today was the first time in a long time national signing. They made me nervous because of the NIL effect. Ruben Delary. Matt, you might have found a niche with NIL breakdowns. Haven't heard anyone else with that much detail. Well, Ruben, I want to be clear, okay? And this is why. Like I mentioned a bit ago, but I'll say it again. Most of the guys who cover recruiting, their sources of information are not the people doing the deals, because this is brand new. Their sources of information are the kid, the 7-on-7 coach, the high school coach, the recruiting coordinator at the school, which is fine. But those aren't the people that are organizing NIL deals. I talk to a lot of those people. And they talk to me. So, like, the same reason that I told y'all LSU was offering $100 million. Do you remember that? Like, some of y'all just forget this shit. Some of y'all love to point out when I don't pick a game right, but you forget when I fucking nailed this shit. I told y'all that LSU had floated a $100 million contract offer in agent circles to see what type of nibbles they got. Fucking told you that. What did Brian Kelly get? Fucking $100 million. Shocking. It's because I talked to the people who were being asked to pay up the fucking money. Anyway. I don't like Borai, Nicholas. It's okay. Jimbo Graves, what's up? Joey B, 19. Jimbo will never win anything of significance with or without an NFL. He's already, Joey B, he's already won a national championship. That's what y'all motherfuckers forget. I'm telling you, listen, I know A&M fan. I'm not like, I get it, like, all the hype that they've gotten and they haven't won anything of significance. I get it. I get all of it. I get it. They won an Orange Bowl in 2020, the COVID year. I get it. I get all that. But the thing that I will continue to tell you is A&M is like LSU was when they had 6 straight losing seasons. The resources were always there. It just took the right motherfucker to come and shake it and wake it up. And Saban did that. And Jimbo can do that at A&M with the help of NIL. He's a good coach. He's already won a natty. Like, you're fucking kidding yourself. That dude got Christian Ponder and EJ Manuel selected in the first round of the draft. You are fucking kid. He took Zach Calzada and beat Alabama last year. You are fucking kidding yourself if you don't think he has the potential to shake that shit and make it actually wake up and be a thing. And with the players he's getting now, bro, y'all call him Texas 8-4 all y'all want. Y'all can point and laugh and shit, but if you're not respecting what they can be, not what they are right now, what they can be, you're fucking kidding yourself. You're the fucking frog in the goddamn pot. With the boiling water, frogs fucking swimming in the pot, you just slowly crank up the water, and before motherfucker knows what's going on, he's cooked. I feel like I sound like JB Smoove right now. I got motherfucking frog in the motherfucking pot. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's motherfucking bullshit right there, Larry. That guy's so fucking funny. Oh, Leon. Let's see. All right. Devin Kelly was good, man. Matt, do you believe the Belichick text message may have been intentional? No. I just think he's an old guy who fucked up. 70 years old, he's fucked up. Maybe your grandpa ever, or your old mama mistexted you something? Fucking happens all the time. My mother-in-law, she fucking butt dials me all the time. We get four-minute voicemails because she knows what the fuck she's doing. I mean, I love her. She's a wonderful woman, but she don't know how to work a phone. Power went out at the house yesterday. She texted us, do y'all have a flashlight? I said, Tanya, you have a flashlight on your phone? This thing Belichick's old. Devin Kelly, fact that grown men get their feelings hurt by words or what someone else thinks of them is pathetic. True. That's true. Different strokes, though, brother. Palermo Trapani. I think Texas did something similar to what the Aggies did. They did. Texas spent a lot of money, too. All right, where are we? Jerry DeLucky, little Makers 46. All right, man. Jimbo is one funny lying fucker. He thinks we're all stupid. Any chance we see Brian Kelly dress up in some country music-oriented attire and perform the Mel McDaniel classic Louisiana Saturday Night to lure in top recruits? That's the best fucking comment of the night. If it got top recruits, I'm for it. Where are we? William Thomas, Tigers. What are y'all yelling about? Devin and Dustin Blanchard. Y'all going back and forth about something. I missed that. I don't even care. Y'all fucking go. Man, I don't know what y'all yelling at each other. But y'all have at it. Jennifer Collins. Your thoughts on LSU's class, chances to compete for great things in 2022. So, Jennifer, I don't think LSU is going to compete for great things in 2022. Not by LSU standard. I'll tell you again, I think the ceiling is 9-3. I think when Vegas odds come out, you're probably going to see LSU pegged at 7.5 or 8. You know, so I don't think by LSU standards you would define that as great, right? I think, damn. I mean, if you had Ricks and McLaughlin back, and you had Max Johnson as a 3-year starter at quarterback, I think we're having a little bit of a different conversation. But no, I don't. Let's see. Brian Smith, how do you feel LSU will plan out in the future with NIL deals? I think they'll be more organized, but Brian, I'm also curious to see what the market sets at. Nicholas Cantrell, trivia, until the Maggies win the SEC West, I ain't worried. Okay. I'm not saying you need to be worried. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying be worried or fearful or anything like that. I'm just saying you better be aware. You better be aware. Randall Offrecht, Matt, did Bitch Boy pay you your $500? Nope. Dwayne from Thibodeau, a.k.a. Bitch Boy, has not paid me. Jennifer Collins season prediction. Jennifer, a lot of people have asked me that, and I keep saying, let me see the final roster. Remember, LSU came in today with 7 available spots. They filled 2. They got 5 more spots. Theoretically, LSU could add 5 more players to this roster. What if you go through spring and inevitably you have more attrition? You lose some guys, but the portal reopens and you add guys. I mean, remember, they added Joe Burrow in May. They added Cole Tracy late. Like, they're not done. Like, they're not done losing and adding players. So let me see what the roster looks like first. You think Billy Napier would have recruited better if he was the LSU coach this year? No, I don't, honestly, Joey. I think it was a really, really tough task. And I thought Brian Kelly did awesome. I mean, he went and hit the transfer portal hard, got 12 players, positions of need, a lot of transfers that a lot of people wanted. I don't know how anybody could have done better. I think they did great. Harvey Adventures. Did you see Brennan TikTok for walk-ons today? I did not. Dwayne Leonard, are you drunk? I'm not drunk, Dwayne. I had 1 pour in my game coin glass, so I had an ounce. And about maybe 20 minutes ago or so, I poured my 2nd ounce. But so no, I'm not drunk. Scone, Kyle Skeens. Moscona, whose skill set worse, Brian Kelly's dancing or Jimbo's ability to lie? Jimbo's ability to... Well, actually, Jimbo was convincing, right? I mean, we all laughed at him, but he got angry and mad. Brian Kelly's dancing is awful, yes. Jimbo's attempt was pathetic, but Brian Kelly's just an awful dancer. Jimbo had some convincing, his voice kind of vibrating and stuff. Devin. Matt, Dustin's bitching and complaining about NIL, saying it's ruining college football like players haven't been getting paid since football started. He's a dumb fuck. He's the one who's butthurt. Well, my contention is and always will be, and I mentioned this a bit ago, I don't know if y'all were here. When LSU plays Florida State in September in the Superdome, there's going to be 70,000 people there. We're all going to be watching, and when me and T-Bob do whiskey and wine, all y'all fuckers are going to be watching, and you're still going to cheer hard for LSU. I would relate it to the kneeling controversy in the NFL with Kaepernick. All the people that said, I'm done with the NFL, yada, yada. Some might have been, but you had 50 million people watching the NFC Championship game last weekend. Ultimately, we love our teams, and we're going to keep watching. Brian Fontenot, nice bourbon collection. Thank you. That's just some of it. Is LSU worried about big money for all the coaching hires versus return and value? Great question. I don't know if I understand the question. I mean, of course you want a return on that investment. Are they worried? I don't know. I don't know that I would say that. B-ball game was hard to watch last night. It was. They were terrible. Nicholas, living in Dallas, I'm acutely aware of A&M. Have 4 or 5 people duck out of things after LSU beat them last year. It's truly the only team I want to beat every year. Dev and Matt, Dustin said they need to put a cap on NIL, but he'd shit bricks if someone put a cap on his earnings. Yeah, I don't think you cap NIL. Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's even possible. I don't even know how you would regulate. I don't know how you would regulate earnings. I'm a free market capitalist. I don't care what you do. If someone's willing to pay you money to do it, okay, there's a market for it. It's a free market. Go get what you can get. Someone wants to pay someone $100,000 to make an Instagram post. Well, I think that's stupid, but if you want to waste your money, go ahead. To each their own. Who am I to tell you how to spend your money? You shouldn't tell me how to spend mine. So, yeah, I'm good with it. Do you think Jimbo wakes up tomorrow, listens to what he said, and laughs at himself? It's funny. Scott, heard your breakdown on the players. Hard to evaluate the coaches without seeing the team play. The new coaching staff for this year has to be better than Coach O's coaching staff, right? I completely agree with that. T-Bob and I did that on the last episode of Scone and T, where we went position by position. I think we agreed the only positions where they were better a year ago on the coaching staff were secondary with Corey Raymond and special teams with Greg McMahon. Centaris, what's up? Stellum Black Rye Whiskey. Pro Lawn Care, what's up? Harold Perkins coming in and compete at running back. No, he's going to play linebacker for sure. Kyle Milliken, Matt, are you and T-Bob confirmed for Whiskey and Wine 2022? Yeah, I believe so. I don't know why that would change. If he's down, I mean, they're going to sell it and we're going to make money doing it, so everybody watches it. I mean, that show has killed traditional post-game. It's unbelievable. Like, I love Haney, and I always listen. I go back and listen to Haney the next day on podcasts. But fuck, ain't nobody listening to that shit live anymore. I mean, it ain't his fault. It's just Whiskey and Wine has obliterated everything. Are you surprised at the perceived dumpster fire at Auburn? Honestly, I don't know about the dumpster fire at Auburn. I know their OC left after like 6 weeks. I think Harsin can be okay. I don't know. It's just such an uphill climb in this division with Bama and A&M and LSU in it. It's a hard division, bro. All right. William Hodges, Saban was asked about Brian Kelly dance video. He said, I like to dance too. Bro, Nick Saban did the fucking Cupid Shuffle at a recruiting visit one time. Like, it's just the double standard of what the media tries to criticize. Jennifer, your opinion, how long till LSU has a great season, less than 2 losses? I'd say by 2024, within the next 3 seasons, they'll win 10 games or more. Why did 247 drop Will and Walker to 4-star? Don't know. And honestly, Nick, I really don't care. I don't care about the 247 rankings, and you won't either in time. Roger Dodger, I think Fireball Whiskey with the antifreeze attitude is the best part. Yeah, that's so fucking stupid. BGS Goat, what's up? Dustin Blanchard, what's going on? Let's see. Rumors. He was sleeping with an employee. I don't know what that rumor's about. I don't want to read that out loud. I don't even know what that's about. How will the conference look when Texas and Oklahoma join? I think you're not going to have an East-West. I think you're going to have 4-team pods. Matt, biggest disappointment today? Matthews? Yeah, for sure. Alex, where's Jordy nowadays? Jordy does his own show. He streams it, I think, in the mornings. Brian Thorgerson, funny, Louisiana and Texas pass identical NIL laws after SCOTUS. Texas bill, blah, 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 blah. Bar school involvements in NIL. Texas does not bar school involvement in NIL, by the way. They don't. Okay, we might be about done here. Final comments on Facebook. Shelby, Kiffin brought up salary cap. Yep. Stephen Fry, with the miss on Lewis Jr.'s Brian Kelly, I have no choice but go to portal for a tight end. Probably Stephen. Probably. Shelby Kelly Scone motherfuck someone before we end the night. Motherfucking Jimbo. How about that? All right, Joseph, good night, man. Brandon Bird, what's good? Rosemary, good evening. All right, y'all, I think we're done. He called the refs donkey dick lickers. Yes, donkey dick lickers. All right. I think we're just about done, y'all. Long show, hour 45. Thanks so much for being here. Before we bounce, real quick. Don't leave yet. 76 watching on Facebook. 314 on YouTube. Thank you. Couple things. Facebook, like the page, share the post. YouTube, smash the like button. We're at 259 on the likes. We're going to get over 300 likes. There's 40 of you watching right now who haven't hit the like button, and you need to do it right now. So thank you for that. Hudco Roofing, remember? Hudco Hometown Heroes. It's our NIL program. We replace your roof. We earmark a portion of the net profit to do an NIL deal with the athlete of your choice. Any athlete, any sport, any school. HudcoRoofing.com, it's pinned. GameCoin, thegamecoin.net, mycleanliving.net, and my girl Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. If you have pain, she'll take you out of it, man. Just book a session. Jimbo likes chicken cock. Chicken cock. I have not tried chicken cock. Chicken cock is a type of whiskey, by the way. Okay, we're out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. It's 11 o'clock, which means we will see you in roughly 8 hours for Morning Scone. Peace. We're only at 270 on the likes, YouTube. Do better.